have 2 different self-tapes to learn, prepare, send off, so I thought I'd take you guys along the process with me. These are like monologue-based self-tapes, which is interesting because it feels very different when you're filming it to when there's other lines, but it's not like it's any harder or anything necessarily that I find it. It's just different, and one of them gave me options for which monologue I wanted to do. So I was looking through them, and I feel like with that you just have to go with instinct, and it was all classical texts, and there was one where I'd played the character previously before in an audition, I think twice actually. So I thought I'd go with that one, and also her intention just felt so much clearer to me than the other ones, so I just thought it's best to go with the one that feels clearer rather than to second guess what everyone else might be doing and to get in your head and then to do something that might not be your best work. Just pick what you feel instinctively you feel most connected to and might portray you best, I think. And another one is a really interesting sort of project with a really interesting company, so I've been doing a lot of research into the company to understand their style, their approach, so that if I also get recalled, I will have more of an understanding of them, and I think it's good to do as much research as you can. But I've had quite a few of these monologue sort of tapes in my time, because these are sort of open castings. They're publicly available material that anyone can see that they're advertising and recruiting, and anyone can submit for these. So I feel like what's interesting about these castings is that often if you get castings through my agent, for example, it will have like a week absolute maximum sometimes in order to be able to submit, or a few days. But when it's publicly advertised, sometimes it's open over a month is the casting window for submissions for a tape, which feels like a long time. And I feel like you can get in your head about that, about like, should I submit right at the end? Should I submit as soon as possible? How long should I be spending preparing the tape? But I think it's best not to overthink it too much. It's been a while since I last filmed about this, and I decided to mainly focus on the tape that's due a couple days earlier. So I'm gonna jump in here and give a little bit of context, because otherwise it looks like, why are you slacking? Why are you taking a few days not looking at this tape? This girl, in reality, originally thought, I'm gonna learn the lines on the quiet periods during Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And then I thought, these deadlines are like a week into January. That is entirely unnecessary, and I can just spend time with my family. So that is why I took a few days off looking at these tapes, and then returned back to them later on. And by that point it was the start of January and tapes were coming through, because it has turned out that January is a very, very busy audition period for me. But what happened this morning is that I got another audition through. So as well as the 2 that I was filming about, I've got a lot going on. Like in total, I think 5 different things I'm preparing to audition for, and one of these I think that I'm filming this about also has a musical element to it, but I'm not too worried about that, because I feel like with instruments I have specific pieces that I usually go to and play and record, and I probably have old recordings of that to send in as well. And also I have go-to audition songs, so I think I might just go with one that I use the most. It's just like a fun audition song. And I think something that I've been working on with this monologue as well is that different pieces can be taken in different ways. Like obviously finding the naturalism in a piece is important, but this company has a bit more of a like fun comedic spin on stuff. So I'm trying to make sure that I explore the monologue fully, but then in the tape I'm able to access the emotion but also have more of that kind of fun vibe that plays into the theatre company style. So, and obviously I haven't entirely neglected the other audition. I have been working on learning those lines as well today, but I just think that like having that running in my head as well for longer will help the result in this context. So I've got the coat on because it's freezing, and I thought I'd keep the coat on until the absolute last minute when I need to actually film a tape. And I've got the violin because I thought I'd record a bit of instrument demonstration as they request that you could have. And I've picked violin and not double bass because they want a portable, tourable instrument, and I think that's not giving portable, tourable, because otherwise often I would end up using double bass because it's a bit of a rarer instrument. But I thought I'd talk about using an instrument in auditions because sometimes I've been like told to get my violin and be a tree. So I feel like a lot of shows aren't actually about like playing music, it's about like playing to the scene and like creating an atmosphere and doing like little sound effects, like a little that kind of thing, you know what I mean, rather than playing. But I feel like for this they'd want an actual little song, and I don't want to use exam material either because I just think they might be like, oh, that's the grade 5 book. Like if there's anyone on the panel who like is a violin player, they'll recognise those pieces. So I want to do something that they won't have heard, just to make me look well versed in the violin landscape. So Lottie from the future is jumping into this vlog again because I'm watching this back and I did my emotion recall. I got myself emotionally in the zone to film quite an emotionally intense, verge of tears monologue. And then I thought, wait, I've got to update the vlog, but I don't want to take myself out of character too much. So I seem really panicked and really distressed and really like out of it. So some of the updates I'm going to just tell you now because I can't include that whole clip because I look mentally not okay, but it's just for the acting. So basically I said that I'd already filmed the monologue for the other project that I was taping for, but I didn't document too much before that because I didn't want to build it up too much in my head because I felt like then the tape would have been a bit more tense, and I just wanted to enjoy the process and relax into it and relax into the sort of fun, excitable vibes that the character had. So I just tried to have fun with it, and I actually got a take completed. Like I set up, filmed it, and it took me 7 minutes, which was surprising and quite fast for me actually. And then I didn't want to film before filming the song as well because I didn't want to speak vocally, because speaking vocally and singing vocally are in very different placements, and if I speak too much and then I sing, like I don't think that that's gonna be the best for my singing. So I then didn't film that either, but I completed that. And also something that I did after I filmed the violin clip and edited that into a tape is that I also edited like 20 seconds of double bass in, because I thought like I can include both instruments in a relatively short period of time and then they can see 2 instruments, like I don't need to just include one. So I thought I might as well just do that. So that's what I'd caught you up on, and the rest of this clip is right before I film my monologue for the second out of the 2 self-tapes. I'm going to be doing this next tape now, and they do say that you can improvise it, you can read it, or you can learn it. I think I might experiment with like improvising some of it to show I can improvise. There's a section where the character really loses it and like really gets quite like emotional and worked up, so I feel like improvising that bit could be interesting, and also using elements of the script. So I'm going to do a few takes and see how I feel, but I'm really just trying to like really connect to the emotion of it. So now is the time to conclude. I sent in both of my tapes, and then I have almost immediately ended up being sent tapes for 2 other projects. So I'm consistently taping a lot in January, which is something that I don't know if that happened last January or not, but I'm very grateful for it. But I have heard that I've not been recalled for the first project that I taped for, but I think that was quite a competitive one. And the thing is, sometimes you tape for something and you're not right for it, and then they see you for something else and you book something. Like I often end up booking stuff or like getting opportunities with people who have initially rejected me for something else. So I think it's just normal to get rejections. It's actually quite hard as well to document the process, because I didn't realise until I watched back that one clip just how in character I tried to get myself to be right before that. And then I noticed after I'd filmed that monologue as well that I was like physically shaking a bit, because it's using real emotions. Like, I felt it in my chest, I felt it in my stomach, I could feel the character's emotions, I could feel it behind my eyes that like the tears were like on the verge of happening. So if you really get yourself into character, it's really important that you also take yourself out of character and also just take care of yourself mentally throughout that, because I've realised that actually it is quite visible that I am using emotions, and like even if it's just for a character, you're still physically feeling where those emotions are, because emotions really are physical tension and feeling within your physicality and your body. So it's really important that you take time to take yourself in and out of character properly and safely. So please subscribe to see more, because we seem to be auditioning loads in January, so maybe I'll be booking some cool things in the future, so stay tuned and let's chat in the comments as well. And thank you so much for watching this quite chaotic vlog. Thank you. Bye.